Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined by Preston, the Sports Cheetah. This is the video you wait for. It's the video best bets of the week. Guys, last week the video's 3-0 with the best bets. Let's keep it rolling this week in Preston. You're going to talk about the basketball series, Oklahoma City and Golden State. Now, we're taping on Wednesday. If these get up early, they'll be able to do something before Game 2. But what about OKC? They stole Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals from Golden State, which it looked like Golden State was, on the verge of running away and hiding, and Oklahoma City wouldn't go away.
Yeah, got to credit them. Got to credit them for the Spurs. I didn't think they had any shot to beat the Spurs, and they did. So they continue to do it. At this point, I don't actually have a specific best bet. That's why I was going to talk about this series. I looked at the MLB card for tonight and for tomorrow already. There's not a play for me on the card, so I'm not going to force one. But one thing I did do last night was I bet the Warriors to win the series minus 180. And I think it's still, minus 190 to 205 is what I've seen this morning, and still in range, in my opinion. I expect it to be more like minus 250, so I think it's a little short. But the main reason I'm doing it is, and this is kind of a strategy I do when I'm playing and watching the NBA playoffs and betting it, is to bet series. Maybe, if I don't think that Golden State's going to cover, kind of an inflated number now is up to 9 at some spots. I do think they're going to win the game. And so I bet them to win the series. And if I think they're going to get a split in Oklahoma City, I think they do at worst. Then coming back for Game 5 in a 2-2 series, it's a 3-game series, and Golden State's at home for 2. And at that point, you're going to have an even better number on Oklahoma State as the dog before the series even started. I know they closed like plus 330 to win the series. Coming back with the 3-game series against Golden State with 2 in Golden State, it'd be maybe closer to 4-1. At that point, I can play 4-1 to scalp the minus 180 or to at least free roll the majority of the minus 180. Even better so, if Golden State goes into Oklahoma City 1-1 and wins Game 3, they're up 2-1. I'm going to be getting, I think it happened the exact same thing we did this when the Spurs played Oklahoma City. Spurs, it was 1-1. They were minus 250 to win the series. And I played it. They won Game 3. And I think Oklahoma State was plus 800 to win the series at that point. Some places even had 9-1. I think there was one spot that even had 9-1. You play Oklahoma State just to win your risk back there, and free roll Spurs, it wouldn't have worked out. But the idea is that there's going to be value just in scalping and kind of torquing with these series bets. The only way I don't win money is if Oklahoma State, wins 3 out of the first 4 games in this series. And if they do that, kudos to them. So be it. I'll hand them my money and say,
Are you surprised? We know what Westbrook and Durant can do offensively. Are you surprised at the way they've been playing defense? Because, I've trashed them all year with they don't play defense, and all of a sudden they're starting to play some defense.
I'll say this. Against the Spurs, I was originally surprised because they played the Cantor-Adams lineup, which the Spurs should be able to kind of small ball, pick and roll Cantor and get away with. But then Pop was just rolling with David West, who can't really hit a jumper, and then other than that, he would have to be wide open. They could just double team the ball handler. So it worked for Oklahoma City in that series fantastically. In first half of Game 1 against Golden State, I know Cantor went in. Golden State got 4 dunks in a row, and Cantor was pulled. The second half, for whatever reason, they didn't attack it as hard, and they also were just missing like every 3 they took in the second half. So I think a lot of it in that first game, I think, is kind of, we'll wait and see. I still think Cantor's going to be a major liability defensively. When he's off the floor, though, and it's just Adams and Ibaka is a great defender. I don't know if he's as good as he used to be. He was kind of more a shot blocker. I think he's actually maybe less of a shot blocker now and more of a smart defender, which he lacked early on even when he was flashy. But overall, Oklahoma's defense has been a lot better than in the regular season, and they're playing top-tier teams. So you have to give them some credit. If Cantor can somehow stay on the floor for them, it makes their offense that much better for 25 minutes a game, then they really do have a shot to beat anybody at this point.
All right, well, let's shift gears over to my video best bet. And boy, when I give this one, you're going to have to hold your nose when you walk up to the window to take it. And when I texted you this morning who I was taking, I won't say what your reply was to me, but I do have a big set. We're going with Toronto plus 12.5 in Game 2. And I'm going to say zigzag, and I know we've talked about the zigzag theory, and when the zigzag theory, is at its best for me is when nobody wants to do the zag with the zig. This is one, and the line is telling you that. The line was 11 last night with Cleveland. They blow out Toronto. And normally in the playoffs, and we've had Matthew Holt from, Cantor Gaming, and we've asked him straightforward, the zigzag, they do bake it into the number. And when a team loses game one, you'd think, okay, well, they got killed, the line's going to be bigger. No, generally they adjust the line down a little bit because they know people are going to take the team to even it.
And it's still 12.5.
Yeah, it's 12. It went up. It's not. So nobody wants Toronto. I want them. And we know that they were at a disadvantage last night. Cleveland was rested. Cleveland, swept Atlanta, been sitting around. Toronto had to go 7 games. Toronto's in uncharted water. They're a team that, hasn't been this far in the playoffs. So, to get that Game 7 against Miami and have to turn around one day off and come back and play Cleveland, they weren't ready. I'm going to take them here, and all I'm going to point out, short sample size, but there were 2 games that were pretty much the same situation here in the playoffs already. We had Game 1, Oklahoma City blows out Dallas by 38. I took Dallas in that next game, Game 2. Not only did they cover, they won it. They shocked me that they won it, but they covered the game. Game 1, San Antonio blows out Oklahoma City by 32, and everybody were like, Spurs are going to sweep it. Yeah, okay? And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to go ahead and take it. And sometimes the best bets that you can make are the ones that are the hardest to walk up to the window and say. And Toronto plus 12.5 definitely is one of those ones that's hard to say, but I'm going to take it. That's my video best bet for this week. Take Toronto plus 12.5, Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And guys, if you want to save $10 this weekend on a package, use coupon code SouthPoint and the number 10. All one word, SouthPoint and the number 10. We'll take $10 off your package. Just enter that at the checkout in the coupon code section, and you'll get a $10 discount. He's Preston Sports Cheetah, Marco D'Angelo. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll be back next week with more here at WagerTalk.com.